Hey guys, this is Marty, founder of Loving Autism, and thanks for stopping by. Like you, I am a father of a son that's been diagnosed with autism, and I created this page as a dedication to him, and also because it's a place that I wish I had when I first started out on this journey. So I want to share stories and learn and everything else, and now I feel like it's a great opportunity to share with you guys everything that I've done and everything that I've learned to help my son. I get messages every day, what did you do? And so what I decided to do was teach a class. So I'm going to be doing a live training. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll give you instructions, a little bit more details. But before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So my son was diagnosed with autism. It was shortly before his third birthday. And at that point in life, everything was difficult, just coming down the stairs, getting in the car, like eating breakfast, like everything was just, it felt like it was crazy. By 9 o'clock in the morning, there were many times where I was locked myself in a closet, just crying. I didn't know what to do. It was such a crazy time. So, and it was also that, I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but I felt like these dreams and all these things that I had of with my child and fatherhood and everything else, like these dreams being crushed a little bit. I wanted to have that typical father experience where we could just walk down and have breakfast together, and that wasn't the case. But in getting the diagnosis, my goal for him, as a father, is to just help him reach his potential. I wanted to, provide for him so he can just continue to excel. And, candidly, he was in a lot of pain, and a lot of the sensory issues that he was experiencing and in his behaviors because he was in pain. And I wanted to help heal that. So, and I wanted my son back. I wanted to be able to communicate with him. I wanted him to be able to play with friends and play sports and all that type of stuff. And especially I wanted to be able to go out in public without people thinking that I was kidnapping my own son. True story. And I didn't know who to turn or listen to or anything else. I thought I did what I was supposed to do. I went to the doctor, and he's like, okay, you're in luck. I just got back from this 11-day autism conference, so I am an expert in autism. I'm like, okay, give me that knowledge. Come on, give it to me. And he goes, there's nothing you can do. You want a sucker? And I was like, really? Like, you're an expert, and that's what you give me? Just felt really helpless at that time. And I wasn't doing enough. But I did what we were supposed to do, right? It's, let's put him in ABA therapy, and, we'll start to, train him on how to behave the right way. And it was great. And our therapists were awesome, and I loved them. And there were small incremental changes where, we had strategies on how to deal with some of the, the transitions and stuff like that. But he was still in pain. And so I wanted to take away that pain, and I wanted to heal him from the inside out, and not just teach that robotic behavior where it's like, when you meet someone you're supposed to stick out your hand and say hello, but at the same time, like it's not coming from within. So that was my goal. And around the same time, which was interesting, is I had been dealing with some physical issues, and I was extremely sick, and I went to the doctor, and they wanted to put me on medication. I didn't feel like that was right for me, so I started to explore non-traditional ways for me to get better. And what I found is I discovered this, it was like an underground community of people that called themselves biohackers, and what they would do is they would use advances in technology and nutrition and supplementation to hack their biology and take control of their entire system. And so I was like, hey, I'm willing to try anything. So I went and started implementing, and in very short order, I went from reoccurring mono, adrenal fatigue, hormones that were just a mess, and an ulcer. I couldn't even eat. I ate like one meal a day, and it was extremely painful, to feeling like Superman within, a very short period of time. So I started to wonder, I'm like, if these techniques and these systems can help me, maybe they could help my son. So my plan was to just take these strategies and things like that and and create a plan for him. So I did. And basically there was two main things that we did, which was number one is eliminate toxins. And these are not just, toxins that you would, hey, here's a bottle of poison. They're toxins in our food, they're toxins in our water, they're toxins in our air. And get rid of those so that the body can start to calm down a little bit. And two, give him things that support his body, proper nutrition and supplementation, things that help the body heal. And that was the plan. So it's pretty simple. But it's simple but not easy. And that was the toughest part because, when I started to explore and looking around and I'm like, oh my God, there's these toxins in everything. So it took a pretty radical shift in terms of our daily habits and how we approach life to move away from these things. And that was extremely tough, especially for a kid who was so stuck. I mean, you guys know, right? It's like any change, movement is just extremely difficult. So to alter anything is tough. So in his diet was mac and cheese, pizza, milk, goldfish, the traditional, things that our kids eat. So switching them away, even introducing any new foods, the textures, all that was, extremely difficult. Not to mention, the people in your family, my family, and, caretakers and people at school and things like that were just, didn't really know or appreciate what I was trying to do. So it was tough. The interesting thing was, though, after about 30 days, I saw this massive shift. And I remember I was, standing right here in this kitchen and, I'm looking down, and what would happen is before I would say, hey, buddy, or anything that I would say, he would look at me and he would just repeat it back. So there was no two-way communication. It was always just repeating and repeating and repeating what I said. And it was right about the 30-day mark. I said something to him and he responded. And it wasn't the repeating. He actually, it came out and we communicated. And it just was it was pretty amazing. And fast forward, we're almost 3 years, not quite 3 years here in the future. And 99% of everything that we struggled with before, we don't. So, all of the meltdowns, which I'm sure you guys can appreciate, the looking in the eye, the communication, he's loving and happy and he loves to give hugs and, he's active and plays soccer and karate and runs races and he can go and play with other kids. And it's just amazing to me, that transformation. We can go on trips together. A couple times a year, we get on a plane, we go visit family, we do this and that. I got my buddy, and I feel like I got my son back. So throughout the journey, it's been tough, but completely worth it. And I feel like I've learned to love a human more than I ever thought I ever could. And he's been my greatest teacher. And I so much love and appreciate him. And I want to share that feeling that I have with you guys, and I want to teach you everything that I've done. So what I decided to do is a free training, live training with me, where we're going to walk through 6 weeks, and once a week we'll get together. Looking to keep it pretty small, limit it to about 20 people on the first one. That way it's a lot easier to ask questions, and it's a back and forth and things like that, and work on things that you guys are struggling with. But anyway, so what I want you to do is, if you're a parent and you're committed, because the biggest thing is this does require some work and some shifting of lifestyle. So you need to be committed. I want the people that are in there to, be all in. And number two, everything is free. I'm not selling anything. You need a little bit extra money, just because there may be, you need to invest in some supplements or, different types of food, things like that, maybe a little bit higher quality than what you're used to. So maybe a little bit more of an investment there. So there will be a link either above or below. I don't really know, but click on that to apply, And what we'll do is look through the applications and shoot you out an email. Pretty sure we're gonna be starting up next week, Wednesday at 7:30. Everything's gonna be recorded, so if you can't make one of the sessions, not a big deal. But I look forward to sharing everything that I've learned and the thousands of hours and the coaches and the mentors and everyone that I've hired to help me along the way to help you guys. So anyway, I look forward to meeting you guys.